I've known Dr. Amy for a long time. She used to work with one of my dear friends, Dr. Wendy Jones, who is actually the person that brought LifeWave to my attention. So my story, and I did want to, you had mentioned Sarasota. I actually grew up in Sarasota, Florida. So, but I'm originally from St. Louis, and we moved to Texas about 8 years ago. And in 2018, 3 weeks after my 50th birthday, I was diagnosed with leukemia. And so, dealt with that, going through the treatments for that. In 2020, May of 2020, I had a stem cell transplant. And I received my brother's stem cells. And so what that entailed was they had to give me chemo that permanently destroyed all of my stem cells. So it completely, chemo always wipes out all your blood counts and then you gradually get them back. Well, in this case, this chemo had to permanently destroy my stem cells because they were glitching out and I was, they were developing leukemia, blast cells. And then I got my brother's stem cells. And so because of that, because the stem cells, make up every cell of your body, I had literally had to start over. They call it your second birthday because it's just like you're a newborn and you're creating a brand new immune system and really a brand new foundation for every cell in your body. So I have my brother's DNA, 100%. I always joke with him and say I'm going to rob a bank. They're going to come after him and not me. And even a crazy thing is that my blood type changed. I used to be a type O. My brother's an A. I am now an A. So, because stem cells are the basis of everything. And so 3 months after my transplant, this was in 2020, remember, I got COVID. And I was on 3 immune suppressants. But I had to deal with the COVID. So, being a chiropractor, I used my natural supplements, my essential oils, all the things to deal with the COVID. But in doing so, I boosted my immune system to where it triggered rejection symptoms. And so over that next year or so, I started developing different rejection symptoms. And so what it affected was like all of my mucosal linings. So like, the lining of my mouth, my sinuses, my airway. It affected my liver. I had liver enzyme. There was a particular liver enzyme that would be elevated. A normal range was 15 to 37. There were times when I was in the 200s. And then I kind of settled in the low 100s, still far away from normal, okay? But we were, keeping an eye on it. I was trying to do all my natural supplements without, there's like that thin line, I wanted to support myself, but not put myself further into rejection. And so my chiropractor friend, Dr. Wendy, was like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something out there to help you. And I said, well, from what I know, once you're in rejection, there's no going back. So in February of 2024, just last year, Wendy calls me up and says, hey, I think I found something that might help you. It's a patch and it stimulates stem cells so that you can repair. Well, that just totally freaked me out. I did not want to mess with my stem cells. And so I said, no, I don't think so. And she was pretty new. So she didn't have enough information to really, educate me. And so she backed off and she said, okay, as I learn more, I will get back with you. Well, as the months went by, I started hearing, different friends. My friend Sheila Shepherd was using, got patches from Dr. Wendy, and her husband was having phenomenal relief with his knees. And then, out of the blue, somebody I hadn't talked to in years that had like moved to the East Coast texted me and said, "Hey, do you know anything about these anti-aging patches?" And I'm like, what is going on? So I felt like it was God saying, "Hey, dummy, you've been asking for this. Look into this." So I said, okay, I think I'm supposed to look into this. And I need to research, though. And for about 5 weeks, I was online like almost every day. I was looking at research, with the patches, but then also, I'm on PubMed.org. I'm seeing, okay, what this GHKCU, and if I boost that, and I was trying to prove or disprove if it was going to be safe for me. And after 5 weeks, I got the feeling like, okay, I'm not finding anything that says I shouldn't try this, so I think I'm going to try this. So I ordered it, and I didn't wear them for 12 hours at first. I kind of eased into it, but I started in July of last year. Oh, another thing. One of the symptoms I had dealt with, because it affected with my airway, was anytime my heart rate would go up. So if I did like a brisk walk or a bike or anything like that, it would constrict, and it was like I had exercise-induced asthma. And and also I don't produce tears anymore, which has been a huge issue. I've actually got a scar tissue developed under one of my eyelids. And so anyway, so I started using them in July. Within 3 weeks, I was at the gym. I was doing the bike, which I always did, but it was like, okay, if I can just warm up for 10 minutes and, try to get my air in, at least I'm getting a little bit of something. Well, I was able to go at like full, pedal. I was still breathing. I ended up just going like for 20 minutes. I couldn't believe it. So my airway had opened up. At the 6-week point, I had one of my doctor's appointments. I had my blood work, and my liver enzymes that had been like in the hundreds was down to 44. I couldn't believe it. So since then, the lining of my mouth has improved greatly. I feel some slight changes in the moisture in my eyes, my right eye more than my left. So I'm still, praying that that will continue to regenerate. A crazy thing, though, is I have always had pretty straight hair, but after chemo, my hair got really curly, and I had these, ringlet curls. But in January, just a couple of months ago, suddenly, within a week, my hair went back to how it was prior to being sick. So my hair reversed back to how it was 6.5 years ago. So it's crazy. So yeah, that's my story.